everyone, this is Jen with Nani Keola. I am super excited that you came to join us today for our Altered Art Day. This is like my favorite, and I've got a couple of projects that I'm super excited to share with you. So I hopefully will see you later. Thanks. Hi everyone, it's Jen again from Nani Keola. Welcome back. I am excited to show off a couple of projects for you. So altered art, mixed media, that's totally my passion. So when this opportunity came up, I jumped all over it. So here is my first project right here. This is probably one of my favorite paper collections. I'm going to say that like 5 more times. And this jewelry box is one that I actually got from Goodwill or something, and it was this ugly green color. And I took some paint, painted it pink, and then I attached some paper. So it's pretty much the easiest project ever. The papers help it look really good. So now let's get in depth with it. All right, so now we're gonna get up close to this box. So this is some of the Domestic Goddess papers by 7 Dot Studio. There's some of the tags and everything, and then I just took flowers from my own stash and little beadings from my own stash. But all the papers, all these little tags are all from 7 Dot Studio. This is a little fussy cut from the Alpha stickers. Some more little Alpha stickers. I don't know if you can see that right there. We got the drawer. Here is the side of the box. The papers just have so much detail. And then let me open up the inside. So this would be a great little holding spot for, like, if you know any sewers in your life, or shoot, I'm probably gonna put my little waxes and paints in here because it's pretty cute. Here's this like ledger paper. All right, and then last but not least, I have this drawer. Get this open. So here's all the paper. Pretty simple in here. Here's the drawer. So yeah, I pretty much just measured the paper, attached it, and then covered it with Mod Podge. A lot of Mod Podge on this guy, but I love it. It's gorgeous, and this paper just makes it super easy. All right, so now I'm going to show you the Domestic Goddess papers. It's a really big collection, so just bear with me. Right here is the 6x12 sticker sheet, and you can see all the like little tags and everything, the words. These are the 2 alpha sheets, so we've got salt and pepper and raspberry, individual letters and little words. This is the tag sheets, so we got all the tags and everything. These are die cut already. And then this is the 12x12 sticker sheet. So we've got all the stickers, and you might see this is a Polish company, so we're going to see some Polish words on here, which I feel like kind of adds some fun to your projects. This is the collage sheet. It's the advertisements, kind of the old school adverts. And this is the fashionista collage sheet. So you got all these pretty ladies in there. They're super fun, so easy to fussy cut. And then here we'll start with the papers. So this is kitchen wallpaper. On the back side, you can see it has the pinks and the yellows with it. You got women's talk. So this one, it's a super busy paper. It's super pretty. I think it's one of the darker ones. On the back side. This one is proudly handcrafted. So there's kind of like a lace, a subtle lace pattern to the back. And you'll see here, this is the sewing pattern. And you'll see this a few times throughout the collection. So, whatever. Probably my favorite paper name ever. And there's that sewing pattern again. 12th teacup. This one's going to have a little bit more of the yellows and oranges. that sunset feel. And then we've got raspberry pudding, just that lace. It's got the coffee ring stains on the side. And then we have a couple of buffalo, or not buffalo plaid, but plaid papers. One's darker, one's going to be a little lighter. Depends on what you're looking for. Spice and sugar with that ledger on the back. And then we've got white apron. So this one is probably the lightest one, and it's got that pattern. Perfect. Well, that is my domestic goddess papers. I hope you enjoy. My second project that I want to show you is this little treasure box that I made. This is super cute. Really enjoyed it. There's a lot of chipboard. I did some crackle paint on there, embossing, and just kind of used up some of the treasures that I had sitting around the house, like those little seashells and beads. You can see there's the celestial paper in the background. So I used the Destination Unknown papers from 7 Dot Studio. And then some of the chipboards and stuff are from Wow Studio. And then again, just little tidbits here and there. So if you want to make this on your own, this is what I have available in the shop. I have this box. It's bigger than the box I'm showing you right now. I don't know why. And then these are the papers I used from Destination Unknown. This is Walk the Plank. So that had that wooden paper that I used as the base for the box before I went over it with paint and gesso. And then the background is, or the back is just this like white and gray. And this is the Under the Stars. So this is that celestial type paper that I used. And then the other side is this blue with the little islands. And that's what I used for the bottom of the box, is kind of like a treasure map, which I thought was really fun. And then the chipboard, oh, sorry, I got the embellishment, little arrows, and these are the die cuts. They're already die cut out for you. And then now I have the chipboards. So all the chipboards I used were from Wow Studio. So I have the seaweed. I used a couple of those and painted them different shades of green. And then there is the anchor, which I inked with black, and then I embossed with a silver. And then these are a couple other ones. This is the coral. There's a couple coral pieces in there. And this is a sea mash. So you're going to get a variety of chipboard in here. So there is, let me see if I can open this up. There's like a whale, there's a jellyfish, there's a couple of like little sea plants, there's like a squid, there's a little variety of everything. And then this is the little fishy confetti. So they're just little small guys, different kinds of fish. All right, so this is my third project that I wanted to show you. This one's going to be a little bit more in depth. This is kind of just like a quick showing of how I would make a not a canvas piece, but like just an art piece. So I really like blue. So I got a couple shades of blue in there, just painted it really quick. Wasn't really quite sure what I was going for, but I had a lot of blue paint to use, so why not? And we're going to heat set that. All right, so I wanted to use the molds, the Prima molds. These are so much fun, you guys. So there's wings and stars and moons, which is what I'm going to use for this piece. I had fun one day and got out my Paris of plaster, and I just made a whole bunch of mold pieces and then put them in a little box so I could use them later. So that's what I'm going to use here. So I've got them already made. Like I said, I just got plaster of Paris from Home Depot. It's super cheap, super easy to use. Sometimes you might get a bit more of a distressed look, and I'll show you that more later. And then Wow Studio has these cute word chipboard pieces, which I really like because they're the perfect size to add on to anything. They're not too big, not too small. And she has a variety of words that I have available on my shop. So I decided that I needed a little bit more on this blue board. So I grabbed my peacock feathers, the Distress Oxide spray, and that was just kind of the perfect like contrast to the sky, which is what I really wanted. All right, so now we're gonna start painting the plaster pieces. I like the Paris of plaster plaster of Paris, however you want to say it, because they take paint really well. So I'm going to paint the moon, and I'm using the Sparks. So Prima has two different kinds of paint. They have the Sparks paint and they have the metallic paint. The Sparks paint is going to be really heavy on the glitter, glimmer. It's going to be very shiny. So just depending on the look that you want, I wanted that for my moon, or I guess that's a face, the face of the sun. Yeah, whatever, the face. So I painted that, and then I'm going to use the metallic paints. This is really fun. There's definitely some shimmer to this too, and there's a wide variety of colors. I have them on my site. You can see here that glimmer on there. Oh, it's so pretty. I love the acrylic paints, the metallic ones. All right, so I'm going to paint my wing. Get it all nice and covered. You don't want to forget the sides, so that way it looks finished. Luckily, my cat is not intruding. She's being good today. Yay! All right, and I'm going to paint all my wings with that acrylic paint. I painted the stars just with this gold paint that I have at Michael's. I didn't want to do the Sparks paint for the stars. All right, and so now I think I have all my pieces painted. Now here comes the fun part. They have these waxes, and if you guys have not seen these waxes yet from Prima, it's the Finnabair she came up with these in all these colors. These are so much fun. They add just the perfect accents. You can put them on with your fingers. That's what I usually do. I just put it on my finger and rub it on. You can also use a paintbrush if you want to. If you do use a paintbrush, you're going to want to, because the wax is really hard to wash off. So you'll want to just have like a dedicated brush for the waxes. Vintage gold is probably one of my favorites. I use it all the time because it just kind of goes with everything. And you can see just rubbing it on, and it picks up all the raised edges and everything, and kind of putting it on the edge of the wings. Hopefully you can see the contrast, that kind of how it makes the pop, makes the wings pop up a little bit. And there's all sorts of different color waxes. There's like pinks and purples. The metal colors are the ones that I use the most because you can get kind of that rustic look. It does take a day or two to wash off your fingers if you use your fingers. But if you're an artist, you kind of already used to that, right? Or you're wearing gloves. So I decided to put a little bit of the gold on my face. Get them a little bit of makeup, contrast, highlighting, contouring. And then here I have some red wax. It's not red. What color is it? It is Indian pink. So I decided to put that on the lips just to kind of make his lips pop out a little bit. All right. And then the last piece is the moon. And I wanted the moon to really pop out from the face. So I decided to use watercolor. And watercolor and the plaster of Paris, it works really well. It soaks in, so you definitely get more of a matte look to it rather than like a glossy look when you use the metallic paints. So that you can kind of see, and then you can see he's kind of he's got like some chips in his face. It's okay. He's lived a life. And now I'm going to use that gold wax on him. I like to paint them first because the paint gets into all the little deep parts, and then the waxing just goes on top. So there we go. Now everything's done. Oh wait, we got one more piece. So this is my awaits. I decided I want that color to pop out, so I'm going back to that Indian pink. I did put some gesso on this chipboard first because I really wanted the wax to pop, the color to pop out. You probably don't need to gesso it. It's up to you. If you don't gesso it, your color might be a little bit more muted. And like I said, I just really wanted this to pop up since everything's kind of shades of blue and gold. So now I'm going to get everything placed and start adhering everything down. So the liquid glue did work. It's sticking really well. If you are in a hurry and you want it to stick right away, you could use hot glue. That would be a possibility also. It's been about 6 hours and my pieces are not moving anywhere, so. But hot glue, you could use hot glue for this. All right. So I just want these last little things. The word stickers are perfect. I love the word stickers. If you have not picked up word stickers, I highly suggest it. You can use them on anything. So I'm going to pick up a couple, let's see. Live by your own rules. Okay. And now we're going to finish this up. So here it is all done. I put that never stop dreaming, and you can see the gold and how it pops, and see the gold, the difference between the face and the moon with the light and the dark. I also put some gold on the awaits just to make it kind of blend in a little bit more. I know I said I wanted it to pop. All right, so now that you've seen what you can do with the molds, here's another way that you can use the molds. You can use casting resin, which you can pick up on Amazon or Michael's or whatever. And then the kind that I got, you have to let it sit for about 24 hours. This is the mermaid. She's sat for 24 hours now. Lost her arm. Oops. And a little piece of her hair. So this is her in her resin. And let's see. Let's do some experimenting, you guys. I'm going to take that acrylic metallic paint and paint her tail. I always worry about how resin will take paint, and obviously it depends on like what kind of paint and stuff that you want to do. Be really careful when you heat it because her tail was getting a little soft in places, so just be careful not to leave that on there. And I think she needs a little bit more on her tail, so I'm going to put some gel here. And then, have you played with the Distress embossing glazes yet? We are going to use two different colors. We're going to use the Broken China and Cracked Pistachio, which are perfect mermaid colors. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit over here, the Cracked Pistachio, and let's see how this turns out. And then I'm going to do the Broken China on the bottom of her tail. And the embossing glazes are meant to be slightly translucent. So whatever I decide to put her on, like paper or something like that, it's gonna help make those colors show. So I really like how this turned out. Let's see. Okay. Maybe you guys can see it. I don't know if you can, but it looks really good, you guys. I really like how this turned out. So these molds are so much fun. If you haven't gotten them or you're still on the fence about them, I highly suggest it. They're great. There's a whole bunch of them available at the Nani K. Ola shop, and I'm going to have a special going on for them today. So hopefully you learned a little bit about the molds and the Paris of plaster. There's also so many other ways. And chipboard, you can emboss, you can paint, you can do anything. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed these projects that I showed off. Feel free to come like me, follow me at Nani K. Ola on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to email me or message me. Thank you. Bye.
I love to receive holiday cards, but every year I've encountered the same problem. How can I display flat cards in a creative, attractive, and most importantly, non-damaging way? I didn't like the mess of poster putty or tape. Push pins left permanent holes. These old solutions were messy, frustrating, and really didn't work that well. Hi, I'm Kate Mudge, creator of Ribbits, a simple system for hanging items that you want to display but you don't want to damage. The system is comprised of 3 components: a ribbon, a double-ended elastic clip, and our unique 2-piece magnet. The ribbon is packaged in 5-yard pieces and is available in a range of themes and colors. This length will wrap around a standard door, or it can be cut to fit any cabinet. The double-ended elastic clip holds the ribbon snug to prevent sagging and is available in a variety of colors. The 2-piece magnet comes in many styles to match the season, holiday, or event. The metal disc backing and the ultra-strong magnet sandwich your item securely in place, preventing it from falling down. The 3 components in the retail line are sold separately to appeal to creative shoppers who want to mix and match colors and options. The Ribbits display system is versatile, attractive, and non-damaging, perfect for the winter holidays and ideal for year-round display of greeting cards, artwork, school announcements, and more. For more information, please visit our website at rib-its.com. Wrap it, clip it, love it. Ribbits!
Hi, I'm Casey Birmingham with Foundations Decor and Fancy Pants Designs, and we're so excited for this opportunity that Stamp and Scrapbook Expo has given us to visit with all of you and show you some of the adventures of altered art projects, and in our case, an actual wood crafting product, and showing you how easy it can be to woodcraft and to build your own style doing so. We're going to go over that today, but first a little bit about Foundations Decor and Fancy Pants Designs. Foundations Decor, we're about to celebrate our 4th birthday, and we're very excited about that, and that's thanks to wonderful customers like you that have supported us through these first 4 years. We couldn't be more grateful to you. In 2019, we also acquired Fancy Pants Designs, which many of you know as a paper craft brand that gives great products and has been around for 15 years now and always been a great supporter of the scrapbooking and paper arts. So we're grateful to have them on board as well. So why is it that some people don't woodcraft? Some of the excuses we hear is too costly, too time consuming, and frankly, it's messy, right? Everybody thinks it's messy. You got to get out the saws and cut your wood. We take all of that out at Foundations Decor. We provide you with a foundation, which I'll show you in a second, and that saves on time, cost, space at home for storage and things like that. We've taken a lot of the guesswork out of it. In fact, all of our product is even sanded, pre-sanded, and cleaned before it's delivered to you, so there's no messes or sawdust all over your lap. You don't have to get out the saw or anything else like that. You just get to do the fun parts, which is craft and make things to fit your own style. So I mentioned we give you a foundation, and let me show you what I mean by that. In the case of our very popular shadow boxes, which that's what I'm holding now, and a project that I'm going to show you how to do in just a few moments. This is our shadow box kits. We have tons of shadow box kits to choose from. What's unique about them is they're interchangeable, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every month by buying a new shadow box and having to find a place to store it. Let's say you've done a Christmas shadow box kit. Well, now I need another one. No, in this case, birthday's over, it's almost Christmas, you just switch out the Christmas kit into there. Magnets are provided and they just change right out quickly and easily each little slot, saving tons of time, tons of cost, and a tons of storage space. Everything is also laser cut, so you're going to get a product that's true to the picture every single time. And instead of just sitting here talking about how cool we are and how cool I think we are, why don't we go ahead and show you, this is the actual project we're going to show you today by showing you how to do one of these squares. But let me show you what you get using the link Foundations Decor /Expo 2020. That's Foundations Decor /Expo 2020 is the link you need to do to get this kit provided. And I'm going to show you everything in that kit. First of all, we're going to give you that base. Yep, you're going to get that base in this kit, the white shadow box kit, worth $19.99. But that's not the only thing you're going to get. Obviously, you're going to get the birthday kit. Now the birthday kit has the magnets already in it, just a 3M magnet. It'll come with it. You don't need to go find magnets or anything like that. Plus it'll have all the blank slots, all the embellishment pieces to complete that birthday kit I just showed you. On top of that, you're going to get a full 24-page double-sided shrunken design 6x8 cake smash paper pad. What's nice about the paper pads you're doing on the shadow box kits is those shrunken images are just perfect for these small icons and really look great. And you'll see that also in a second. Plus you'll get the title paper card. You'll get all these cool buttons. I don't know if you can see them, but we're going to send you a bunch of buttons with the kit. And Steve was nice enough. I said, you know what my favorite thing about doing the wood crafts is, Steve, is when I get to file off those paper edges. So he said, you know what, let's throw one of our small paper files, also found at foundationsdecor.com, into the kit, and also one of our polyfoam brushes, so that these are great for if you want to paint something, or if you like to use Mod Podge, you can do that. Now, let's actually get into how easy paper crafting can be. So follow me up to the table. Okay, let's get to work on our kit. For the sake of brevity, we have eliminated a few things, just the basics of crafting, but I will also mention that we are only going to show you one of the squares, again, for sake of time, but we do want to show you how easy it can be. And the very first thing you always want to look over when doing a wood craft is our basic wood crafting guide, which we'll provide a link to. It just tells you some of the basics. It's not an instruction sheet, but things to look out for and what you want to remember. There will be instructions provided digitally, color photos and full length instructions to show you this entire kit step by step, which Jody Sanford was kind enough to provide for us. So let's get started. If you've read your wood crafting guide, you'll notice you want to put some X's on the front side of your wood. If you can see me, what I'm going to do, and the reason we use a pencil is if we paint something, we don't want that to show through, right? So just a light X, so you always know what the front side is. On the back side of your paper is where you'll want to put X's. We know we're going to be using this paper, as you could see from the finished project. We want this side, so make sure you X the back side of that. And what those are going to do is marry together X's, right? On the front and the back of the paper. So I've made my X's. Now we just start pulling the kit apart. You want to twist that they come adhered together, so you don't have any issues with them damaging or flopping around in the packaging when they ship. But you're going to want to twist, because if you pull on the end of that, it's MDF wood. It is sturdy, but it is liable to break if you just yank at it. So again, just twist those off and you see the little pop dots. The way we get rid of those is pretty simple. I just grab one of my trusty paper files. I got it right there on the cupcake edge, you can see, and I just pull that right off. If you're really particular, just smooth it out just like that. It's real wood, it's MDF wood, so it sands real well. Takes well to paint, ink, you're gonna love it. So we've done that, and now we're going to trace our cupcake. Again, I've put an X. I know it's hard to see. I've put an X, and so now that we've made our X's, I already did it on this paper, we're going to go ahead and trace what we need. You'll notice in this kit, and the instructions aren't as very clear about this, because some people want that paper to go around the whole thing, but you notice you don't need the whole section, you just need the bottom of the cupcake, because then the layering comes into effect and goes over the top, and we're going to be painting that white in a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace the bottom of this cupcake. Again, check your orientation. You always want to check your orientation. That'll be a striped cupcake this way, or if we want it to look just like the model, we need to flip our cupcake to that side. So I'm going to go just like this, knowing that I don't need the full thing. I'll trace that, and I might be a little too low, so I'll come up here. And then we'll cut it in a second, but one thing I suggest before cutting is painting, because what happens while your paint dries, then you can cut out and start sticking things together. So what I'm going to do real quick, and I've already got my paint ready, my brush, which will come in that kit. Just go to that link, Foundations Decor /Expo 2020, to take advantage of that kit for $24.99. Getting all that stuff, it's $50 value for $24.99. And you know what? I might even do an awesome deal for you guys, because many of you are like, yeah, I love that birthday, but I really want the Christmas kit. Or Halloween's coming up, I'd love to get my hands on Halloween. Right now, we're also going to do a code on our website, foundationsdecor.com, where we're going to offer every one of our shadow box kits for $9.99. They're $14.99 usually, but we're going to do $9.99 for everybody that views this video. And keep in mind, this link, Foundations Decor /Expo 2020, is for you guys only. No one else can get that deal. No one else can get this kit. You're the only ones. So I've gone ahead and painted that. But what I'm going to do is take a quick break, again for brevity, just to cut out. I don't think anybody needs to watch me cut paper out, right? So we'll go ahead and take a quick break and cut these out, and then show you how to adhere everything together. And you'll see how quickly it comes together in minutes. So we've gone ahead, cut out our paper, painted the two pieces that are required, and you'll see that in the instructions. And now we just need to start putting everything together to complete the centerpiece of our birthday shadow box kit. Check your supplies for some twine. When we design, we like to add little accents. So if you have some white baker's twine or anything like that, you're welcome to use that anywhere in the kit you'd like. The buttons will be provided as extra pieces in this kit though. So what we're going to do is we're just going to build it from the ground up first. We go with our black back blank piece. Man, that's a tongue twister. And we're going to just adhere that. People ask us all the time, what's the best glue for wood crafting? I don't know that there's necessarily a best one. A lot of people love to use Mod Podge. People also love to use, we like this Tombow brand. They seem to do pretty well for us in the glue world. Oops. Let me go ahead and just use this edge. And be a little bit liberal, but not too liberal with the adhesive. Whichever you choose to use might depend on how much. One way to easily smooth this out to make sure you don't get wrinkles with the paper, even though we're using a good high quality cardstock, sometimes it can still bubble. So if you just want to take your brush, smooth that down so that there's no wrinkles or bubbles in the paper. That's one thing to watch for that you won't see in the instructions. Again, I'm just showing you how easy it can be to paper craft. Throw that off to the side. Now again, orientation. This is actually a square piece, so it's easy to check. And throw it on there. And while that one dries, we'll go through and do the other pieces as well. But there's something real cool I want to show you. My favorite thing about this whole project is when I get to sand it. Because right now you can't tell on camera because you're not up close to it, but it's got some rough edges, right? You've just hand cut that with scissors, and you'll notice it sticks off just a little bit. So what's cool about that is once that dries, I suggest letting it dry. I'm going to break my own rules just because, again, we don't want to move this video along. You'll take your paper file that's in your kit. Remember, Foundations Decor /Expo 2020 to get this all for $24.99. And then you just go like this, always pulling away from the wood. And you'll notice sawdust is going to start forming, or not sawdust, but paper dust. Because all we're doing is we're cutting that edge clean. Isn't that great? And that's why I said you don't have to be very particular on your tracing. In fact, you'll even want to cut a little bit wide when you cut, because then you can just cut it off just like that with your file. And I won't go around this whole thing, but you can see how a nice edge develops. Then from there, if you get real, like if you've got a certain style you like, you can ink edges or do that. You're going to want to do that before you put anything else on. But that's just a quick and easy way to clean up that edge, just like that. Always pulling away, basically the paper towards the wood, okay? So you don't yank it off of there. And I'll go ahead and start putting the rest of these together and then show you a finished project. So now we got all our paper added. Again, this can be totally easy. We want you to build your own style. So make sure, like, if there's a certain paper, you're getting a whole paper pad. Just change the paper if you don't like a particular one we use. Don't feel like you got to follow along. I think it was Todd Henry that said in his book, The Accidental Creative, that creativity is simply your ability to engage in any given moment. And I've always loved that quote because, I mean, just watching this video, you're using your creative side. And don't be afraid to be yourself. I hate the excuse, I'm just not that creative, because as long as you're engaged and trying something, you are being creative. So right now I'm just taking some twine we just had in our supplies box that all crafters have, their trusty supplies box with their scissors and their markers and pencils. I'm just going to quickly tie this off, and that's the first thing you want to do before gluing all the stuff down, now that we have it all painted and the paper on it. And we'll clean that up at the end. We'll just use some trims and take it off. But we want to do that to make sure it gets back behind there. And now again, we just start building up. I'll go to the back side of this here. You don't want to glue this, the bottom layer, always building towards the top. Glue that side so that you make sure you don't have any run over, okay? Again, now that we're actually putting wood to wood, we want to use a bit more glue, okay? So don't be shy with it. One thing I like about this Tombow is if I do run over the edge a little bit, it dries clear. So, but you can use all sorts of adhesives. Like I said, people ask all the time. You can use, there's 100 different adhesives you could use. Probably you don't want to use like tape runners to put wood to wood because you want it to be a little sturdier. But any real liquid glue will work great. So we're just going to eyeball center that. We're not very particular. Just eyeball center it. The more layers you add and you got to measure side to side, you're going to say, well, that's why it takes so long. Well, just skip it, right? Now we got the cloud, right? The cloud. I call it the cloud because it's white and it looks puffy. It's actually the frosting. People are going to be mad I call it a cloud. They're like, we love frosting and you're calling it a cloud. Okay. Just like that. Can be that easy. Just that easy. And then it just starts forming together. You can see how you can do one of these kits actually pretty quick once you've practiced on one, right? The cherry, literally the cherry on top, okay? Now you'll notice it sits off on the finished one. It sits off a little bit, so don't put adhesive on the stem. There's just gonna be little things you'll notice along the way, just like that. I'll drop mine. And look at that, mine. Yes, Casey Birmingham did one just as nice as Jody. Still got to trim that up. But that's how easy doing a shadow box kit from Foundations Decor can be. And we've also got the Fancy Pants Designs paper. So if you want to get that kit of all the stuff I showed you, of shadow box kit, the frame, the paper pad, file, paintbrush, magnets, buttons, all of that stuff that's nearly a $50 value for $24.99, go to foundationsdecor.com/expo20. That's Jody's. The last finishing touches that we need to do is just add our magnet to the back. And you know what I'm going to do? Just always put it right in the middle. You'll actually get 2 magnets for the title card. You can use 2 on that. The rest just need 1 magnet. It'll be simple. Now I'm going to slip mine into Jody's kit. And she'll be none the wiser. This is the one we're going to give her back. So just like that, we finished our kit, and you can see how easy it can be to change it to fit your own style. Here's one we made last year that of the birthday kit, and you can see on this one we did Mod Podge some of it to give it a little bit more of a glossy shine. You're welcome to do that. Again, build your own style. We want it to be yours. Let me show you a couple of other cool things that we do at Foundations Decor, and then I'll let you go. We hope you saw how easy it can be to woodcraft with us and doing one of our popular shadow box kits, the birthday shadow box kit. You should have a project that looks a lot like this if you've used the link Foundations Decor /Expo 2020, and you'll get everything you need except for the basic supplies to create this kit. And I think you'll love it, and it'll get you addicted to do others, such as our Halloween kit, perfect for October. We've got one to correlate with each month. We've got several other shadow box kits. And again, if you use code at foundationsdecor.com, if you use code EXPO 2020, you will get any shadow box kit in our catalog for $9.99 while supplies last. So make sure you get to foundationsdecor.com to check that out and use the code EXPO 2020. Along the same lines as the shadow box kit, something we released this year was our magnetic calendars, which are very popular, very, very popular, and you can find these on our site as well. It's just the same concept, black or white, frame with all the days and numbers and blank tiles you need to fill in spaces. Come all with a kit, and not only that, cool little icons that go with it. You can buy an extra big days kit, or even the major holidays come with the frame itself, and then you just add on these extra inserts. For example, we've got August here, so as soon as July's over, instead of getting a whole new calendar, just replace August, right? And I'm not going to take the time to go through all of those. We'll just put July back in, but you get the concept. It's the same as a shadow box kit, the same way to decorate it. You could use the video and instructions just as a roadmap to help complete a calendar. One of our very favorite items is our home or welcome blocks with interchangeable O's. We have over 30 O's to choose from so that there's something for everybody. This is a very popular one, the gnome, and that's just as simple as painting it and then following the same instructions that we went through in this video and on the instruction sheet to complete the rest of the project. The home does come with an O if you like something real classic, or if you want to decorate for the seasons. That's a little Christmas gnome. Here's a doorway. We've got tons of phones. We got tons of options. So just go to our website, foundationsdecor.com, to check out what other cool home options we have. And you also notice we've decorated behind ourselves. That isn't just for home decor purposes. We make home decor products as well. If you're the type of person that says, just give me something that's done, we can do that, but we still put our own twist on it. Our home board with wreath, we sell you a home board that comes with a wreath, but then we've also made these interchangeable wreaths for the different seasons. As soon as, that's our summer wreath. Let's say as soon as spring's over, right? We got our spring wreath. We switch to summer to keep the spice of life alive in all of our homes. So one last thing I'll show you is our click sticks. Again, we sell them with canvases, but one thing that's really popular among scrapbookers is to use these 12-inch click sticks to display your layouts. Why do we call them click sticks? Because they click together with very strong magnets, so they can hold a layout, a canvas, your own art. We've even painted our own art and hung it in my home. So I think you'll love those items as well. Make sure to check all of those out at foundationsdecor.com. To get your kit, use the link foundationsdecor.com /Expo 2020. And to get $9.99 shadow box kits, use code Expo 2020 at checkout. We really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please email us at info@foundationsdecor.com, or you can give us a call anytime and we will be happy to answer your questions. Foundations Decor, this is Casey. Of course we can get
Hi, Kim here today from Blank Page Muse. We do art rubber stamps and stencils, and today I want to do a project for the theme tonight, which is altered art. And altered art doesn't have to be that complicated or that scary. Just taking something that's common and ordinary, a paintbrush, a can, something that you want to maybe upcycle, and just alter it, add something to it to make it a little more arty. And today we're just going to use playing cards, a simple playing card to do a stamped project. And as a special thank you for being here with us tonight and supporting our small business, we have a special code for you. It's Expo Art. You use that online in our shop and you're going to save 25% off anything you like to buy. And we'll have that running here at the bottom and everything for you. All right, thanks a lot. Here we go. This is just a regular playing card. It's a bicycle playing card out of a deck. It's actually brand new, but you can use any playing card you have around, and it's just the substrate for your art project. And I want to do I'm going to attach some tissue paper to it, which you can use any tissue paper you want, whatever you have on hand. You don't need to go buy anything like that at all. And we're going to use some rubber stamps. I've got a butterfly, a vintage style postcard, and a couple of sentiments. Those are the basic supplies, and whatever ink you like. I'm using VersaFine today. And let's set these aside. Let's start on the tissue paper part first, because that needs to dry just a little bit. I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. here we go. Now, on your tissue paper, sometimes there's a shiny side and a dull side. I'm going to actually stamp on the dull side of it. And I'm just going to put a piece of paper under it because it does bleed through just a little bit. I'm going to start with the butterfly here. And here we go. Just stamp it. Get your image all nice and inked up. Make sure it looks nice and shiny. A little bit of ink all over it. Nice thing about stamping on the tissue paper, if you don't like the way it comes out, you can stamp it again really easily. There we go, it looks good. Set it aside. And with my stamps, I don't have them cushion clinged. All I use is double stick tape on the acrylic block, and it holds them just fine. It's really easy and quick to change it up. I'm going to do the butterflies a couple times. I have another piece of paper here. And I usually just look at it to make sure it looks nice and shiny, and then I go ahead and stamp how I want it. That looks good. And I want another color to use for this postcard. I'm going to use a blue. And you don't have to cut it, just tear it, because it's all going to be, I like the torn edges better. It looks a little more natural, blends a little better. Let's take this stamp off, and I'm going to switch to the bigger block. Actually, I'm not even going to use the block. All I need to do on this is I'm only using a portion of it. That's all I'm interested in. So just the rubber itself, unmounted, just ink it up and stamp it on the tissue paper. So all I want is a partial image anyway. I'm going to do it a couple times because it's fun. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. Close up the ink pad. This out of here. And now I'm using something called, it's matte gel. This is from Hobby Lobby, but matte medium, anything will work. You can even use Mod Podge. All it is it's going to help everything stick. It's a glue. It sticks on there really nice. I'm going to put some on here. And that's already pretty much dry. If it starts to curl too much, go ahead and put another coat on the back side also. That way it helps flatten it out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set this up here, and I'm going to put the blue layer down first. And a really easy way to trim these stamps out of here is to use your water pen or even a paintbrush dipped in water and just go around the edges that you want, just like that. And then when it's wet, it's real easy to tear it. And you get a nice soft edge on it. And just kind of pull it off. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this scrap here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the second piece here I did. I'm just going to go right around here with the water. Just helps you tear the paper a little better. And it's not so harsh as if you use scissors to cut it. And just pull it apart. There we go. And let's go ahead and do the butterflies the same way while I'm here. Go around that. And if the water bleeds in a little bit over the stamped image, just kind of tear on the outside a little bit. Go. And one more. I like doing everything in threes. It's always nice that it keeps it from being perfectly balanced. So that's why I have 3 stamped images. Okay. Now, What I'm going to do is kind of lay them out a little bit to see how I want them. I want that 3 to show up so you enjoy some of the background. So I'll put one butterfly about like that, have the other one partial there, and then the postcard text just for some texture and interest in the bottom corner. So I'm going to put the blue down first, get that out of my way. I'm going to put the matte medium on the both sides of the tissue paper, and another layer on the card itself too. Just helps it stick smooth. Again, you don't have to use this if you have Mod Podge, whatever works for you. Out here in California, Mod Podge for me still gets a little sticky and it kind of bothers me, so I like the matte medium better. It dries without being sticky and it helps seal it too. Just get that on there nice and smooth. Don't worry about the edges, we're going to fold them over. Okay, let's get the other butterfly on. I want this one just a partial image like that. So I'm going to go ahead and brush over the whole thing. That's cool. Got a little transfer there. And I'm going to place it right about there. Don't worry about the brush strokes. Again, it adds some nice texture, so use whatever brush you have on hand. And this one, again, I want some of that 3 to show because I want to show that what the background is. I want to show that playing card a little bit. And smooth it down. It gets a little translucent, which is really nice. Just seal all the edges. There we go. Wipe off your paintbrush, throw it in a jar of water or something, or take a break and rinse it out. Okay, I'm going to lift the card up. Like I said, I'm just going to fold over these edges to the back of the card, and we can trim them off later, or if you want to use this as the focal point of a greeting card, you don't need to cover up backside at all. You're just going to attach it to whatever card you want to do. Okay, I am going to dry this just a little bit just to make sure it's ready for the last step. There we go. That looks pretty good. It's mostly dry right now. I'm just going to let it cool. And I just love this translucent, how the see-through effect. I think it looks so pretty even just like that. I'll set that aside. Now I'm going to stamp the butterfly again on just some white cardstock, again, whatever you have on hand, just to get your image down. And then we're going to do a quick watercolor, using watercolor effect, using watercolor markers on it. And again, I double stick tape in the block. Just going to press it down a little bit. Still pretty inked up from the last time. So here we go. This is a really simple set I bought on Amazon. It's got a lot of basic colors. It's a lot of fun. And let's see. Let's do the butterfly in some blues and pink, how about? Let's use the blues and a pink and a purple. And I'm just going to go over here. I'm going to do the purples here, a little bit here. And just putting down some color. Works really good on the basic cardstock. It's really easy. Just deepen it just a little here. And back with the water brush. Blend it just a little bit. I'll try adding a little blue. Oh, that's pretty. I like how that's looking. And you can use any colors you like. Today, these colors make me happy, so that's what we're going with. Always use whatever you like the best. There we go. Let's use the darker purple on this area here. A little lighter, but ooh, let's bring some of this in. The nice thing about this stamp, it's got a lot of texture on it already, so you don't have to worry too much about filling in details or shading. Just get your colors. Just play with your color. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of anything on here. Just have some fun. And let's go over just a little bit more here. Okay, looks pretty good for here. How about a touch of yellow just here? Just a little bit of contrast. Okay, just set the pens and water brush. Actually, leave the water brush there. Set these aside. I'm going to dry it just a little bit. Okay. And then I have these Spectrum Noir sparkle pens. And I'm going to use those just a little bit just to fill in the body of the butterfly with this sparkly silver right here, and just a little bit along the tips of the wings. I want to make it just sparkle. These pens are a lot of fun. I'm going to add the gold on top of the yellow here. And I have a black pen that in person it looks amazing. So I'm just going to go over the body of the butterfly here and this little area here. And I'm not being really specific, I'm just kind of following the curves that are there. I'm going to just bend it like this so it comes up, and I don't want those little pieces getting lost. Now, what you can do, since you still have some white edges, take your black ink pen or a marker or something and just go around those edges and just darken them. That'll help hide some of that, and it'll look a little nicer from the top. There we go. Just fill it in a little. It's always nice to just edge anything you fussy cut. It just helps finish it a little bit. There you go. There we are. And this is looking pretty good. We've got the base here. And I'm going to take the butterfly and I'm just going to bend it just slightly and put it on there just about like so. And I have my dimensional tape. You can use pop dots, foam tape, whatever you like, just to attach the card, the butterfly, to your card. And actually, before I do that, I am going to ink the edges of the card. Just going to go over it like this. Again, it just kind of finishes it. And you might want to use a permanent marker or stays on for this, because it takes a little bit to dry this kind of ink. So we're just going to do that for now. And snip a little piece of foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it right there. Pull up the wings a bit. Okay, that is that. Now again, if you wanted to use it as a focal point on a greeting card, you could pick your sentiment, do whatever you like. I'm going to use this, follow your heart and your dreams will come true. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to get this wet. Add a little ink. You could use distressed ink, anything you want. You just want to put a little bit of color on there so it's not just plain white. Just go through it. That's good. And you can use any sort of tape, glue, whatever works for you to attach your words to it. And now you've made your very first altered playing card. Cool thing, these are about the same size as an artist trading card, which is another really fun little piece of work. Gives you such a small canvas to work on, and it's not really that intimidating, is it? There we go. Wonky. There we go. And there's your altered playing card, your very first piece of altered art if you've never tried it before. And hope you will give it a try and have some fun. Come visit us at blankpagemuse.com. Use your coupon code EXPOART and you're going to save 25%. Thank you so much for supporting our little family business in Riverside, California. Have a great day.
Hi, Florette here with Ink on 3. I'm so excited to be here today at the Stamp and Scrapbook Altered Art Show. What a fun show. I mean, there's so many awesome things you can do with altered art. And today I'm going to show you this awesome art journal and how I created it. Step by step. There's some cool SVGs in here that you can get that will be free for a limited time. And it's an art journal that you can practice in, you can put things in that you can use for later. So it's got a lot of great uses and it's a lot of fun. So let's get started. So to start, I thought I'd show you a couple of pictures of what this journal looks like and what's inside, just a couple of sneak peeks. But I think this journal is not only great for practicing and just enjoying, but also would be a great gift later when you're all done. But you can continue playing and working, and I just had a ball making this. It was so much fun and I can't wait to put more in it. Here are some of the stamp sets that we use. I used the Koi set, I used the Be Beautiful stamp set, and then I used these stencils, the Wavy, the Pondy, and the Leafy Forest. I also used the Atelier Reinker, put some water in it in a spray bottle, and oh my gosh, so much fun. You can do so many things with Atelier, and this one is one of my favorites. Since this is altered art, I thought we had to alter something. So I had a book that I read that I really enjoyed and I thought fit really well for an art journal. And the book that I had was the Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. And here's what I did is I just lined it up on a piece of paper, gave it about 1/4 inch longer than the actual book, and then wrapped it around. That gives you a really good fit and from edge to edge. This book was perfect because it was really almost exactly the size of an A5 traveler's journal, which the SVGs that I created for this fit perfectly. So I just got some sandpaper and roughed it up a little bit so that glue adheres really well, and then just dust off all the excess dust from there so that you have a nice clean surface to start. Let's get to the really fun stuff, the actual art. So I took one of the Atelier watercolor reinkers, a water, like a spritzer bottle that I had a bunch of these, and I just put all the Atelier reinkers into the water. I put about 20 drops of the Atelier into the bottle of water, and those are 4-ounce bottles. And I spritzed it all over. Super fun, super easy, and look at that amazing color. And I'm going to add some more, so I made to dry it. I wanted to make sure to dry it first. And now I'm taking some of the Maryland Red and spritzing that on, and then I'm going to open the top and then splatter some on. But you can see we're getting this really cool background for our book cover. Then I took an ink off cloth and just dabbed it up because it is water reactive ink. So you can see I was able to pull it up and get this beautiful pink. That's the one thing I absolutely love about Atelier Artist Grade Fusion inks is you can get such a variety of color out of just these 8 colors that we have. Here I'm showing you, I'm going to do a little no line coloring with the watercolor reinker. I put all the colors on a tile, and you could also use the ink pad, and that's what I was showing. You can either swipe the ink pad on a tile or on any kind of plastic and use them to watercolor with. So I've already gone ahead and stamped the flower that we use for the front cover. This flower comes from the Be Beautiful stamp set, and I just love the stamp set, and the flower is gorgeous, but the sentiment is fabulous because it's be you to full. So you're being yourself and you're beautiful, and appreciating that. And I'm using it with the Fade Out No Line Coloring Detail ink. I thought I'd show you quickly how I like to no line color flowers because I love to get that beautiful white space and get those nice highlights. And actually, this stamp set is one of our simply no line coloring stamp sets because it lends itself to be easily no line colored. So I'm using the reinkers, but of course you can use the ink pads to lay down some color onto a tile as well. And here I'm just laying down a really light wash first. And once I get that light wash on, and you can see how when I just brush over the lines from the stamp using the fade out ink, everything just magically appears. It really is a magical ink and makes things so fun and so easy that anybody can do it. What I like to do when I'm watercoloring is always dry between my layers. So I'll put the first layer down, which is the wash of light color, then dry it, then add my deeper tones in different areas like shadows and highlights, and just build the color up. And what I love about the Atelier Artist Grade Fusion inks is you can layer the colors, and they move so smooth on the paper because they're buttery smooth. They are a combination of dye ink and pigment ink, but it's a completely new formulation, different from any other formula on the market, in that when we watercolor with it, when we add water, it stays true to color. It's going to stay true and bright. It's not going to get that chalky look. It's just going to stay really bright and beautiful. It's also semi-opaque, so that gives you the ability to layer color over color and really get a lot of depth in what you're creating. And you can see here now I'm adding some of the My Jam purple over it, and also all the colors are designed to blend and work together really nicely. And you can see here I'm getting another really cool color when I add that. And when I'm finished, it's going to look like that flower I just showed you. And here it is. I have colored all the pieces, and you can see how pretty it is, and you can see no lines. It looks like we actually drew that and watercolored it, but it's truly a stamp. So I just take it and I'm going to try to decide here how I want to arrange everything. You'll also notice the stamen of the flower is dark, and what we did with that stamp set is I created the stamen as a separate piece so that when you were done no line coloring, you could just stamp that on and you're good to go. So here, once I figured out my arrangement, I used some purple tape just to keep everything in place. Then when I'm ready to glue it down, I can just flip it over, add some glue, and pop it onto the front of my cover. And I was having so much fun. I just wanted to layer more color on more color. And that's what's great. I can do that here. And I'm using the blending brush bar from Trinity Stamps. It's really great because all the brushes are color coded with the blending bar. You just pop those on the bottom. It has white bristles so I can always see what color I used before, and it's magnetic, so it's just very convenient and very nice brushes. I just got them recently and I'm really enjoying those. So then once I used the stencil and blended some color on, I did a little more of the peacock blue, and here I'm adding some splatters of water because, as I said before, the Atelier ink is water reactive. Then I dried that, and then I wanted to really pop that yellow. So you can see here the layering ability, how bright yellow I was able to get over the other colors. So I was able to take my whole cover, pop it in my original Misty, and that's actually the new original Misty, and put my sentiment on using some blackout ink, and then I splattered it with some liquid pixie dust, and look at that shimmer. Isn't that so cool? And now I'm gluing down the flowers that we watercolored earlier. I wanted to make this long lasting, so I grabbed some Avery self-adhesive laminating sheets, and I just pulled the sheet off and grabbed like a credit card or a gift card and smoothed it all over the surface. And once I folded it over, I then glued everything to the front of my book and just kind of pushed down. And then a good idea is to take something heavy, and here I had a bunch of Misties that I put on top, and just let it set for a couple hours or maybe even just a half an hour, and look at that. Now we have the front cover and the back cover all glued in place. It's time to have some fun with the inside of this art journal. So a book like this has very thin pages, so I glued a bunch of pages together, maybe 3 or 4, to give it some thickness to work with. Then I cut out a nice rectangle so that I could have like a peekaboo area to the next page. And I thought this was a really great place because it had a really good chapter. Because now right above my peekaboo it says the flowering of human consciousness, and I thought that was really great for an art journal because you're thinking of all different things, using your mind in all different ways, and I thought that was really cool. So here I'm using our embossing ink, the Juicy embossing ink, with our Gold Rush embossing powder, which is super smooth, and it's really great because it has no fillers in it, so it dries really fast and it's very smooth. And I used the Atelier ink, how we did in the beginning with the cover, and I just spritzed it all over the pages. Isn't that so cool? But I wanted to frame that cutout that I did, so I then took the re-inker for the Juicy embossing ink and just put a line around the edge of my cutout. Then I just took my finger and blended it over because I really wanted to have a really artsy and fun look. Then I'll just take the embossing powder and pour it all over the frame, and then pour it onto a piece of paper so I can collect it all back up and put it back into the jar and use it again in a little bit. I forgot to mention, I don't know if you noticed, I used a stencil for that, and I literally just took the Juicy embossing pad and literally stamped it on top of the stencil, and it went right through. And didn't that look amazing? Because you get like this spotty look through the stencil, and it just looks so cool. And then the frame, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side with the embossing ink and the embossing powders around that frame. Here I decided I wanted to have that blue pop a little more. I sprayed the pages with the spritzer that I created with the Atelier Peacock Blue, and now I'm adding it with the blending brush. Isn't that fun? And these are the fish that I created with you last time I was on here, and I thought I would use them in here. And that's what's great about this art journal, is it's really fun to take things that maybe you didn't use before that you created, and it's a great place to pop them in or to practice on new techniques, or if you want to, create a card, you can practice first in your art journal. And look at this liquid pixie dust. I just splattered it all over and then I blotted it up so it gave me this really fun watery movement and almost like bubbles in the water, but then it's going to glisten and shine. And then I just adhere my little koi that I had made before with you guys and pop them on the page. And I think this is looking really, really fun. And the other pieces I had no line colored another time, and I had those pieces, didn't know what I was going to do with them, and they were perfect for this art journal. So be sure to save all the little things that you make that sometimes you're just not sure what you're going to use them for, and use them in your art journal. I'm also going to show you some really cool spots in your art journal that you can keep pieces that you created to use in your cards or in your journals or in your planners at a later date. So here you see on the edge, I did the same thing with the juicy embossing ink because I want to create continuity through my entire journal. So as I flip through the pages, it just flows. And so what I decided to do was I would use the Pondy stencil and kind of put a little bit of it on each page with the gold. No matter what I create, you'll see when we do a flip through later, and it just really makes everything flow so beautifully as you're flipping from page to page. And the stamp set I didn't mention is in the center there with the water lily, and the dragonfly is actually called water lily, and I thought it blended perfectly with the koi. So if you remember earlier when we first started out, I talked about some SVGs. Well, those are cutting files that you can cut on your digital die cutting machine, say a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Scan and Cut. And I created some SVGs that you can grab for free for a limited time, and they will fit in this art journal as well as a planner journal or any kind of journal that you really have, and you can size them to different sizes. There are also some tags, and they come in a variety of sizes as well, and I thought those were really fun to put in an art journal or any other kind of journal as well. So I cut my pocket out of mixed media paper, and then you can see the bottles of the Atelier that I added water to so I could spritz the color right on there, and they created these really quickly. And you just fold the edges of the base, and that's an overlay piece there that I created, and you glue that on top so you can have these really nice layers. And once that's all glued and dried, I just simply fold the sides, and there's score lines to make it really easy, and then I apply some glue to each corner, and then I'm going to glue that onto that pink piece there, and then I'm just going to hold it there until it dries, and then I can pop this in my journal. Here I did another page, and I just wanted to show you I made this beautiful rainbow background, and then I used the painted black with a stencil over the top, and you're going to see it finished a little later, but I just thought that was so stunning, and how amazing it was that it's the same ink, so you can get the very, very pale, pretty colors or the vibrant, bright colors, but they all go together. And there you can see a little peek of it there. And look at this journal. I just made took a piece of elastic, and even the button, I put juicy embossing ink on a black button and made it gold with the same technique that we did for the inside of the journal pages where we use the embossing ink and the embossing powders. But look at the cover. Isn't that so pretty? And it's laminated and it's so strong. So let's do a little flip through. So here's our finished pages. This is the one where I did the little peekaboo, and I just think it turned out so pretty, and I really hope you like it too. It just feels so tranquil, and it glistens, and you've got the fish swimming around. And then I flip to the next page, and you can see how it all goes together, and that's the continuity I was talking about. Now you've got these bright, bright colors, and then you can move to the paler colors, but they're all in the same color range. And this is the little pocket. And in here, I thought, what a great place to store little things that you might want to use later. Like that's the Fox and Bunny Hugs stamp that I no-line colored. And these are some tags that I can use to color later. And I even put in some pages that I could use in other projects later. And then that's one of the tags that I did similarly to the journal. Isn't that so cute? And then you can just pop these in there. And then on the next page, you can see these are the mini file folders. And I did the same thing with them. I just spritzed them with the Atelier mixed with water. And all of these I did the embossing as well. Isn't this so pretty? I think it would make a great gift or just for yourself. Like for me, I think I'm going to use it as a practice journal. And here, like I have in this folder, all the things that I made doing some no-line coloring. I have some finished cards in there. That's the magical unicorn stamp, and then the dies for the pumpkin patch stamp set says thanks, and I'll be giving those cards to somebody pretty soon. And on the next filed folder, I put in some really pretty backgrounds that I created, and this just amazes me because look at the color range. And it's just amazing that those are all done with the same 8 colors of Atelier Artist Grade Fusion ink. I can get really vibrant, bright colors, or I can get those really beautiful pastel colors that also have like a richness to them. Look at those. Those I spritzed with the water, and then the really bright rainbow one I did with some blending tools. And then look at all these juicy pages I have to continue on and create more, which I will be doing on our YouTube channel and stuff as well. I will continue to add to this. But isn't it amazing that this entire journal was done using just the Atelier Artist Grade Fusion inks for all the colors. And then we used the blackout ink and the fade out ink to do some no-line coloring. Well, I hope you enjoyed making that art journal with me, and I hope you'll give it a try. And be sure to subscribe to our social media like our YouTube, Instagram. I'll be putting more up there. I'll be having more step-by-steps, and I'll be adding to my journal too. So thanks for joining me, guys. Check us out at inkonthread.com, and I'll see you next time. And I thought I'd leave you with one last little bit, and that's a little bit about our website. And you can see we have a lot of categories. You can go to the bottom right corner and ask me a question anytime. I'm always happy to help, whether it's a question about a product or a question even about a technique or something that you want to try or do. But there's a wealth of information on the website. You can look at all the different items, and then we also have some videos in there. You can check out the different stamp sets, and each stamp set, when you click over them, we have card examples, and here I'm just kind of flipping through, and then of course our stamp cleaner and some tools and our SVG files, and these are the 3Ds. And then we also have freebies, and that's where you can find right now, you'll be able to find those pockets as well as the file folders that I showed you in the journal that we used. Of course, we have our YouTube channel where I do a lot of tutorials step by step, and we have a great creative team that also adds to our YouTube channel. And you can get to our YouTube channel by scrolling to the bottom of our website, and you'll find the links there. And then of course we also have Instagram. If you love Instagram, just to look at all kinds of fun images, we have that as well. And a blog with step-by-step tutorials with pictures and all kinds of fun information, and you can check out our design team there. But we always have new products all the time, or new projects, and there we go again at the website. And here I'm showing where you actually can see some card examples, and if you click into those stamp sets, there'll be even more examples. Like here in the Hey Gorgeous stamp set, you can see cards made as well as a really great planner spread. So there's just a wealth of information on the website. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's inkonthread.com. I really enjoyed creating this journal with you, and I can't wait to add more, and see you again next time. Oh, and also be sure to take advantage of the show special. It's 20% off everything using Altered Art 20. Thanks, bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Kate Mudge, creator of Ribbits, a simple system for hanging items you want to display but you don't want to damage. Ribbits features 3 components: a ribbon, a double-ended clip, and our unique 2-piece magnets. Today I'm going to show you how easy it is to install Ribbits on a kitchen cabinet. The only tool you'll need is a pair of scissors. First, attach the double-ended clip to the ribbon. You may need to fold the ribbon a couple times to get a good grip on the material. Next, wrap the ribbon around the cabinet. Carefully attach the other end of the clip to the ribbon approximately where you want to cut. Cut the ribbon short enough to be taut without being too short. Remember to leave enough length to fold into the clip. As my dad always says, measure twice, cut once. The clip can be positioned inside the cabinet or over the top for a pop of color. Now that your ribbon is in place, remove a 2-piece magnet from the package. Position the item to be displayed in front of the ribbon. Put your magnet in front and the metal disc backing behind the ribbon. The magnet will grab it, securing it in place. Here's a smart tip. Store unused magnets on the ribbon to prevent them from clumping together in your junk drawer, or keep them in the plastic packaging for storage. Ribbits is easy to install, attractive, and won't cause damage to your cabinets or displayed piece. Thanks for watching. For more information, please visit our website at rib-its.com. Wrap it, clip it, love it. Ribbits!
Hi, Florette back one more time just to say a big thank you to all of you watching today at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo Altered Art Day. What a great lineup we had. So many great projects, so many great products by amazing creators. I hope you'll go and check everyone out and take advantage of all the great show specials. And I wish you happy creating, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.